They was melting the ice around Jungkook's heart. The car finally arrived at the rest stop where the other family members were waiting. The driver pulled into the parking lot and turned off the engine. Outside, Jin, Jimin Namjoon, and the others were standing near a small restaurant, drinking coffee and talking. They saw the third car arrived and wait for Jungkook, and they to get out. But no one got out. What's take them so long? Maybe they are talking. Jungkook doesn't talk. Inside the car, Jungkook was facing a problem. There was still tape on his chest. His face was pressed against his neck. On his hand, had curled into a fabric of Jungkook's shirt. He looked so peaceful. Jungkook didn't want to wake him, but they had arrived. Everyone was waiting. Jungkook had a reputation to maintain. The cold, rude Mafia hire couldn't be seen, letting him contract husband sleep on his lap like something precious. Could he? Jungkook looked down at Taehyung's face. He saw the smile on Taehyung's lips even in sleep. He wondered what they was dreaming about. Taehyung, wake up. No response. Taehyung, we are here. They slightly, his nose nuzzled against Jungkook's shirt. His finger tight on Jungkook's shirt. "5 more minutes," Taehyung thought. He was a child being woken up by his mother. In his sleepy state, he had forget where he was. He had forgotten who he was with. Jungkook's heart did something strange. It squeezed. He had never been called mom before. He had never been treated with such innocence. Taehyung, in his sleep, had given Jungkook something no one else ever had. Trust. "I'm not your mom. Wake up, sleepyhead." Taehyung's eyes opened. For a few seconds he was confused. He blinked and looked around. He saw the car interior. He saw the window. He saw the parking lot outside. And then he felt it, the warmth behind him, the arms around his waist, the hard chest under his cheeks. His eyes went wide. He looked up and found Jungkook looking down at him. Their faces were very close. Taehyung could see every detail of Jungkook's face. The sharp jaw, the dark eyes, the small scar near his eyebrows. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I fell asleep. I didn't mean to," Taehyung said to sit up, but Jungkook's arm held in peace. Soft, moving. "You'll hit your head." "But everyone is waiting. I shouldn't have." Jungkook sighed. His thumb started moving in a small circle while Taehyung whisked again. "I said stop. You fell asleep. It's fine. People sleep. It's not a crime." They scared, and Jungkook went wide eyes. Was this really the same man who had told him on their wedding night not to expect any kindness? You're not angry." Jungkook looked away. His jaw was tightened. "Why would I be angry?" "Because I sat on your lap without permission, and then I fell asleep on you, and I probably on your shirt, and you didn't roll." "How did you know?" Jungkook looked back at Tae. For just a moment, the corner of his mouth. It wasn't a quiet smile, but it was close. "Because I was watching you the whole time." Oh my, did Jungkook just admire that? He spent the entire ride watching Taehyung sleep. The rude mafia husband watched his contract husband sleep, and he didn't hate it. In fact, he seems to have enjoyed it. Taehyung's face turned bright red. His heart was pounding so loudly, he was sure Jungkook could hate it. You watched me. Someone had to make sure you didn't fall off. I wouldn't have fallen off if you hadn't. They stopped himself. If Jungkook had not worried, held him, keep him safe, made him feel warm for the first time in months. Thank you. The words came out softly, almost like a whisper. They were sceneries. They came from the deepest part of their lonely heart. Jungkook's expressions changed. Something flinched in his dark eyes. Something soft. Something almost sad. Don't thank me. I didn't do anything special. You held me. That's special to me. And it was, the truth that Thing had hiding from months. He was lonely. He was starving for Tosh, for kindness, for someone to simple hold him. Jungkook cared in their voice. It sounded familiar. It sounded like his own, the one he kept locked away in the darkest corner of his heart. For a long moment, neither of them moved. They stayed there in the back of the seat, with Taehyung still on his lap, and Jungkook's arm was still around Taehyung's waist. Outside, Jimin knocked on the window. Hey, are you two coming out? Are you going to stay in there all day? They jumped. He tried to scrabble it off. Jungkook slapped, but his legs had fallen asleep during the ride. He stumbled. Jungkook catch him. Careful. Jungkook helped Taehyung standing up outside the car. Taehyung's legs were wobbled. He held on Jungkook's arm for support. Jimin looked at them with curious eyes. He saw how close they were standing. He saw Jungkook still, resting on Taehyung's lower back. Did something happen? Nothing. Nothing happened. I just fell asleep on the seat, and my legs fell asleep. Jimin raised an eyebrow. He didn't believe it, but he said nothing. Jin walked over and clapped Jungkook on the shoulder. Finally, we thought he got lost. Come on, let's eat. I'm starving. As they walked toward the restaurant, the unfilled Jungkook hand was still on his back. It was warm and solid. It didn't pull away, and neither did Jungkook. Something had changed between them. Neither of them knew what it meant yet, but they both felt it, a spark, a connection, a beginning. The rest of the day were passing like a dream. The family ate lunch at Rest Stop restaurant. They sat next to Jimin, but his eyes kept finding Jungkook across the table. Every time he looked, Jungkook was already looking at him. It made their heart flutter. After lunch, they continued the trip. This time, they sat in the second car with Jimin. He thought he should keep in distance from Jungkook. He thought he needed time to understand what had happened between them. But he couldn't stop thinking about the way Jungkook had held him, the way Jungkook's thumb moved in circle on his wrist, the way he said, I was watching you the whole time. Jimin noticed Taehyung's distracted expressions. Are you okay? You have been staring out of the window for an hour. I'm tired. Just tired. Did something happen in the car with Cook? The young face turned pink. Nothing happened. Why does everyone asking that? Because you're blushing. They covered his cheeks with their hands. They were warm. I'm not blushing. It's hot in here. Jimmy laughed. He knew they was lying, but he also knew that something had happened on their own. The family arrived at the destination, a large traditional Korean house in the countryside. It had beautiful gardens, a small river running behind it, and many rooms for everyone to sleep in. Jen handed out a room assignments. Jungkook and you are in the main room at the end of the hall. It's the biggest one. They had dropped. He and Jungkook had separate rooms in the mansion. They had never slept in the same room before. They look at Cook, expect him to complain, but Jungkook just nodded and walked toward their room. They followed slowly. The room was beautiful. There was a large bed with the white sheets, sliding door open to a private garden. The evening light made everything look golden. Jungkook was standing by the window, looking out the garden. They stood near the door, not sure what to do. I can sleep on the floor. I didn't want to make you uncomfortable. They turned around, his face was hard to read. Don't be stupid. The bed is big enough for both of us. Just stay on your side. Are you sure? I said, don't be stupid. They nodded and sat on the edge of the bed. He felt nervous. His hand was shaking again. Jungkook walked to the bed and sat on the side door. There was a big space between them. Silence filled the room. The other sound outside was soft wind through the trees. Then Jungkook spoke. Taehyung, why did you marry me? The question came out of nowhere. They thought I did. You know why? My family needed the money. Your father wanted a connection to be my father. I know the official reason. I want to know your reason. I didn't have a choice. Everyone has a choice, They felt tears at his eyes. He had never told anyone that he really felt about the marriage. He'd keep it all inside. My father was going to die. If I didn't agree, the people had borrowed from, they were going to kill him. So I chose to save him, even if it's meant marrying someone who would never love me. The words hung in the air. They were heavy and sad. Jungkook was quiet for a long time. Then he moved closer. He sat right next to They. Their shoulders were almost touched. He said, I would never love you. They looked up shocked. Tears were falling down his cheeks now. You did. On our wedding night, he said, don't expect love. Don't expect kindness. Jungkook's face changed. For the first time, they saw the regret there. Real regret. I was wrong. What? I was wrong. I said those things because I was scared. Scared of what? Jungkook reached out and gently wiped the tears from the young face. His touch was so soft, so careful. Scared of you. Scared of how you made me feel for the first moment I saw you. Scared of caring about someone again. I lost my mother when I was young. Loving someone and losing them, it's break you. I didn't want to break again. Jungkook was opening up. The cold, rude mafia husband was showing his. He wasn't cruel because he wanted to be. He was cruel because he was terrified of being hurt. The hurt itches for him. Jungkook, today when you fell asleep on me, I felt something I haven't felt in years. Peace. You made me feel peaceful, and I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose you. They was crying openly now. That wasn't sad tears. They were tears of relief, of hope, of something that felt very close to love. You're not going to lose me. I'm right here. I've been here waiting for you to see me. Jungkook looked into Taehyung's eyes. His own eyes were shining with unshed tears. I see you now. I see you there. And then slowly giving Taehyung time to pull away if he wanted. Jungkook leaned in. He pressed his lips to Taehyung's forehead first, soft, gentle, like there was something precious. And he moved lower. His lips brushed the cheeks, catching the tears with tears still falling. And finally his lips found the lips. The kiss was soft and sweet. It wasn't rushed or demanding. It was a question and answer at the same time. Jungkook was asking, "Can I love you?" And Tae was answering, "Please do." They kissed for a long time. They had found each other. Their bodies moved covered. When they finally pulled apart, they both were breathed hard. What happened now? Now, we try together. I do like this. They leaned down on the bed facing each other. They pulled Jungkook into the arm, the same way he held him in the car. They had rested on his chest. He could hear Jungkook's heartbeat. It was fast, just like his own. You heard his beating so loud. That's what you do to me. They smiled for the first time in 3 months. He felt truly happy. The next morning, they woke up in Jungkook's arms. Light was streaming down through a sliding door. The birds were singing outside. He looked at Jungkook's sleeping face. Without the cool expression, Jungkook looked younger, softer, beautiful. They reached out and gently placed Jungkook's eyebrows with a finger. Jungkook's eyes opened. He looked at Tae for a moment, then he smiled. A real smile, the first real smile they had ever seen on his face. Good morning. Good morning. Did you sleep well? The best I have slept in the months. Jungkook pulled Tae closer and kissed the top of his head. Same. They stayed on the bed for a while, just holding each other. It felt natural. It felt right. There was a knock on the door. Wake up, lovers. Breakfast is ready. Their face turned red. Jungkook just laughed. They got dressed and walked to the dining room together. Their hands were intertwined. Everyone noticed. Jimin's eyes were entwined. Jin smiled. Namjoon raised an eyebrow, but said nothing. They sat down for breakfast. They sat next to Jungkook and Jungkook held. Stay on their knees under the table. Everything feels perfect. But then the plot twist comes. Because in every story, dear readers, they were in a moment when everything changes. When the truth comes, when the happening beginning and threaded. Halfway through the breakfast, Jungkook's phone rang. He answered it and listened. His face turned pale. Everyone, we have a problem. What is it? The people who Taehyung father borrowed money, they're not happy with the marriage arrangement. They want Taehyung for themselves. They have been planning something. They felt the blood drained from his face. What? What are they planning? They were waiting for the trap. They know we're in the city. Away from the city. Away from our security. Jungkook had tied in on Denise. His face has turned cold again, but this time it wasn't directed at they. It was projective dangerous. How many? At least 20 mans. They were already on their way. Everyone started talking at once. Jin was calling for security. Yoongi was checking the weapons. Jimin was holding Jeop's hand looking scared. And Jungkook was calm. He stood up and pulled Taehyung to his feet. They, listen to me. You need to stay closer to me. No matter what happened, don't leave my side. Do you understand? I understand. Jungkook pulled Tae into his arms and held him tight. I promise I won't lose you, and I keep my promise. The enemies arrived within an hour. They were a fight. It was dangerous and scary. But Jungkook and his family were strong. They had forced the worst things before. To stay behind Jungkook the whole time, just like he was told. He watched as Jungkook protected him with everything he had. Jungkook took a knife to his arm to save them. They formed a grab. He fought off 3 mans at once. To keep this safe, when it was over, the enemies were gone. The police had called. Everyone was safe, but Jungkook was bleeding. Jungkook sat on the ground. Holding his arms, they ran to him, tears streaming down his face. Jungkook, you're hurt. We need to get you to the hospital. Jungkook looked at Tae and smiled. Even in the pain, he smiled. It was just a scratch. I have been had worse. He took the knife from me, and I do it again, 1,000 times. They fell his knees and wrapped his arms around Jungkook's neck. He cried into Jungkook's shoulder. Don't even scare me like that again. I can't lose you. Not now. Not when I finally have you. Jungkook held him with a good arm. His voice was soft, but he spoke. You're not going to lose me. I'm not going anywhere. They went to the hospital. Jungkook got stitches. The doctor said he would be fine. They'll heal. When they get back to the mansion, the night was... Everything was different. Jungkook didn't go to his own room. He went to their room and he stayed there. He held Tae in his arm. As they lay in the bed, the moonlight came through the window, making everything silver and soft. Jungkook, do you love me? Jungkook was quiet for a moment, then he turned. He looked into their eyes. I was scared to stay it, but I was scared of what I would be mean. I'm not scared anymore. He took the young hand and pressed it to his chest over his heart. This is years. It had been years since the first time I saw you. I just didn't know how to give it to you. So yes, Tae, I love you. I love you more than I've ever loved anyone in my life. Tears filled their eyes again, but this time they were happy tears. I love you too. I think I've been love you since our wedding day. Even since when you were rude. Even when you paused and I saw something good in you. And I was right. Jungkook kissed him soft and deep for full promise. No more separate rooms. No more cold shoulders from now on. We are together. Really together. Promise? Promise. And so dear readers, the rude mafia husband and the lovely housewife found each other. It wasn't easy. It wasn't simple. But it was real. Jungkook kept his promise. He loved Tae with everything he had. He became softer, warmer, smiled more, he laughed more, and he blossomed. He became confident and happy. He painted again. He sang again. He lived again. They had their struggles, they had their fights, but every night they fell asleep in each other's arms, and every morning they wake up in the same way. Sometimes the coldest heart hides the warmth one. Sometimes the people are just waiting for someone to see them, and sometimes all it takes is a car ride with no seats left for two hearts to finally find each other.